Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, evening, morning, night, or whatever time zone you're in. This is Cradden here. I'm with Trelulu, and this is the second episode of This or That. Ruben Trelulu, how's it going?
It's going good, Cradden. Looking forward to this episode. I've heard from an unreliable source that this is going to have some god-tier questions, and I'm ready to answer them for the VL community. How are you doing, Cradden?
I'm doing well, yeah. Literally the same thing. I got anonymous messages from, let's say, about 10 different figures in the community saying, put your league career on hold, put F1 on hold. This is what you've got to prepare for the next week. So I'm glad we're finally here.
I do. Right. First question. What is more likely, Callie being sober or Drigger being sober?
Oh, I love this. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I don't know what Callie's like, sober or drunk. I don't have any knowledge of this. I just know that Drigger is permanently drunk. So I would have to go with Callie being sober is the more likely one of these two.
Yeah, I suspect Drigger would be the drunk one if he edited the photo of himself, because it's not even really on the face, is it? Like, he's actually just copied it from episode 1. Like, this is production value that matches NSK's drafting value right here. So, yeah, Callie, with his slang, with his saying bookie a lot, with his sicko modes, and with his mumble rap, I can't interpret him at all, so he might be sober, might be drunk. I've really got no read on it, but if there's one thing I can guarantee, it's that Drigger's drunk most of the time, and if you don't know, it's when he posts life advice in general chat. So, yeah, I'll go for the Callie one.
Alright, perfect. On to the next slide we go. What is the better synergy to have? Jungle and mid or jungle and support?
Ooh, I guess do they mean in solo queue or in competitive fives?
Well,
it's a difference.
Well, you could do both then if you want. What's your answer for solo queue?
Solo queue, I'd say jungle and mid, because with jungle and support, you can CC chain all you like, you can ward the map, you can focus on objectives. But if you're mid and top laner, either die 20 seconds beforehand or just try a 10-0 Yasuo power spike, it's not going to happen. Whereas if you're jungle and mid, you can at least have a lane where you're stomping and focus around that lane and plow it into the enemy. So for solo queue, I think it's better to have jungle and mid, although I'd argue maybe ADC support's the better one for solo queue. And then for fives, yeah, jungle and support, you've got all the CC, you've got the engage timings, disengages, bit of peeling. Yeah, that's the one for me.
Alright. For me, I'm going to have to say it's jungle and mid for both. If it was jungle and mid and support and mid, either one's fine for me. Whichever one's going to ward my lane for me, I'm happy with that one. But I'll be honest, if my jungle and support are working really well together, that means I'm probably not getting as much help as I could be. As a mid lane, I'm a greedy fuck. I want my jungler to be in my lane constantly. I'd have to go with jungle and mid, no matter what.
I mean, if it's Bramps, you might have support in your lane constantly.
True. Yeah, but then that would be mid and support, right?
Yeah,
jungle, mid, and support. I would prefer that third option as well as all three together.
Yeah, so scrap those. We're going with either mid and support or ADC and support. We've basically agreed that jungle's irrelevant.
Yeah, go with camp mid. That's my idea.
Regardless of your role, camp mid.
Yeah. All right, on to the next one we go. The bigger man crush.
Callie, next
Yamato Cannon or CXLLY. I see the slider spelled it wrong. Nobody calls him Callie.
There's no J on the end as well. It's obviously Cooksley J. Like, I mean, using plain English here. Like, Callie, next slide. It's done. Like Yamato Cannon. I mean, yeah, he's got the deep voice. He's got the bad boy image. He's got the analysis, but he's not fit to polish Callie's fucking sicko mood lyrics.
Well, I'd have to disagree because I don't like British accents, and Callie unfortunately has a British accent, whereas Yamato Cannon does not. So I'd have to go with this absolute lad. Also, he looks like. Actually, no, I won't go into that. That's for a late time show.
Yeah, well, yeah, well,
I think that's enough of this slide.
Yeah, we can all think of what he was going to say later on.
Better bot laner. What you think, Syndra or Yasuo?
Ooh, now I've had more experience with Syndra. Yasuo is the ultimate coin flip for me. Syndra, even if you've got a bad Syndra, you've got the stun, you've got a bit of range, you've got some positioning. Yasuo, you're either brilliant or you're done. Like, whenever I've played with a Yasuo, whoever gets presence in lane at level 2 wins the lane, and that's massive. Better overall. I'm gonna give Yasuo the benefit of the doubt and say if someone's playing Yasuo with me, they know how to do it. So I'd say the Yasuo.
Alright, well, when I think of this question, I've got to think of playing Superstar last.
Yeah, boy.
I'd rather him playing. Would I? I've seen him play Yasuo. Never again. Right? with Syndra, at least you're ranged, so that if you play like a chimpanzee, you're not dead every time. But last is gonna dash in, die, say, Kui, where are you? And then he's gonna do that 5 times and then the game's over. But on Syndra, he doesn't really have as much opportunity to do that. So I'd definitely prefer if last played Syndra.
Yeah,
Plus, I don't play Yasuo, so it's a better flex pick.
With the Yasuo as well, you've got time after you die to just throw those question marks in chat and then call your team something that we might say after the late show when we talk about what Yamato Cannon or Kali look like. Yeah, the Syndra Yasuo, without revealing too much because we play each other on Thursday, Syndra's probably the champion that we use more consistently on NSK. Yasuo is, I think, too coin flippy for us. We'd have to train it really hard. So Syndra's the one I'd play more with, but Yasuo has the higher ceiling.
I will be making notes as soon as this show ends to prepare for this game. Thank you very much for the freelo, my friend.
That's the one, yeah. We're all going to run mid at level 3, and by which I mean all 10 players.
Yeah, ideal. All right, on to the next one. The better... Who did this?
Oh my god.
This image on the left. Okay, all right. The better ship. Silver before CK and Lucy, or Drigger and himself?
It's a will they... Like, I think one of the best things about shipping is it's not the actual relationship, it's how everyone else feels. It's how the community will push for that relationship, do the will they won't they thing, almost watch on with bated breath like weird perverts. And as a result, I think Drigger and Drigger, there's no shipping tension. The man is very self-confident, he loves himself, and there's nothing wrong with that. And for that reason, I don't think there's any dramatic shipping tension in there. Whereas I think every time Silverback has been approached with the prospect of being in a relationship with Lucy, he's immediately hightailed out of there. And that, for me, is the ideal ship. It's the romantic tension, and it is the will they won't they. No one knows what's going to happen. And yeah, that's going to fuel my fan fictions for years to come.
So if Silverback and Lucy, they pretty much are already a old married couple that is 50 years into the relationship. They're just arguing all day. That's what I like to see. That's the better ship for me. Drigger and Drigger, there's no arguments that go on. I mean, maybe not that we see, but there may be arguments in the Drigger ex-Drigger relationship. Oh, ex-Drigger, I like that actually. All right, never mind.
Ex-gone Drigger to you.
But yeah, I feel like Silver before CK, and Lucy, it's got to be the better ship.
Oh man, like in the first this or that, we were really marveling, pun not intended, at the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet and all the admins put into gems. Yeah. I think we're starting to see the expert production value, which I now know is from Asco rather than Drigger.
Yeah, this is what happens. It's all downhill from here. That's what I look forward to. All right. As we continue down this slope, let's see what the next slide has for us. The more interesting VL is a future one with diamond players, or the current... Sorry, not current. My bad. Yeah. The old one filled with sandbaggers, because there's none anymore, guys. We've rid them.
Yeah, there's no sandbaggers, and also in the future with diamond players, there's a rule saying that diamond players can't play, or there's like 12 divisions or something.
Yeah. The more interesting VL... Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's less... I don't know if it's interesting with sandbaggers, because it's pretty much going to be like one or two players slapping around some weak players, and then you've got some other weak players on their team. Something like that. It's basically like the game becomes like 2v2. Whereas with diamond players, it's even more boring because everyone's just going to be. Everyone's like, oh, this person isn't so much worse than me. I have to be scared all the time. I'm so scared of looking bad on stream. Something like that. So I feel like it would be boring because everyone would play like I don't know what region it is, but I think it's in like Dota 2 in China or something like that. Is they just like didn't fight until like 60 minutes every game, and I feel like that's what VL would be with a diamond player league. So I think the interesting one is the sandbagger one, not the diamond one. What do you think, Radon?
I'm with you from like the spectator experience. If you're going to be watching a league, you want one with more mistakes, more clown fiestas. You just have to see Kali's clip of when like all of the NSK org was, NSK senior side was watching Hentai Haven versus Vengeance, and there were a lot of mechanical mistakes in that game. But that made it a brilliant spectator experience, and we were basically doing the wombo combo shouts over the top of that clip. It was so good, and I think that as a result, the Sandbag League, if you have sandbaggers and then some players that are at the normal rank, that becomes exciting. There's mechanical mistakes. It's hilarious. It's a clown fiesta. The Diamond one, it's like you said. But then flipping that on its head, if you're playing in the league, I think the more interesting one is if you're a Diamond player playing against the Diamond player. And that's really on edge. You're playing at your peak. You know that the other guy or girl is playing at their peak, and one mistake could decide the game, and they know how to do things. So for spectators, it's the sandbag one. For players itself, it's where everyone's the same rank, not necessarily diamond, but diamond would be a nice one to do. By the way, if you want to do a sandbag league, you want to get around the point system. So you want to stack the good players into roles with effect, like mid, jungle, and ADC. And then just get absolute trash players in your remaining two roles, top and support. But I can't think of a single team in Division 1 who does that model at the moment.
Me neither. Maybe CNT. I don't know.
Yeah, that's them.
Probably something like that. I'll move on from that. Next slide we go. What feels more rewarding, getting the Baron buff or getting the Elder Dragon buff?
This seems like an easy Elder Dragon question, because there's multiple Barons, they're good, they help you push, but there's no, I am empowered with the grace of an Elder Dragon, I will smite you down with the force of 1,000 suns. Like, there's just something beautifully primal and appeals to everyone's gaming self about the Elder Dragon buff. If you hit someone with like a Zoe Q from like 700 miles away, it takes them to 20% health, by which I of course mean it one-shots them. I can't imagine the euphoria you'd get from that on a competitive game.
Yeah, I feel like the Baron buff is the smart man, macro genius favorite buff. Is like, oh, I get to recall like twice as fast. I can set up all these minions so they all crash into the enemy's towers at once. What are they going to do? How are they going to defend this? They're so powerful. And it feels good when you've got a whole stack of minions. But I'll tell you what else feels good. Seeing the fear in the enemy's eyes when that white line is so close. And they're like, I know I'm about to die. And then you walk up and ignite them.
And then walk away.
And then you see the massive dragon come out and bam. Elder Dragon's got to be the PvP player's dream.
Yeah,
I have to go with Elder Dragon.
So much power,
There's 2 ways about it. But I've never seen Plague get an Elder Dragon because our jungler doesn't know how to tell us if his smite is up or not before we're on the buff. So either one of these, never seen it in my life.
So yeah, that's the second guy making notes for our upcoming series. There we go. Okay, that was our last slide. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, then why are you still watching rather than turning off halfway through? Yeah, we'll probably be back at some point with another one of these. I'm really enjoying these ones, and if you're watching before the Plague NSK series, it should be a good one to watch. If you're watching after, feel free to check Game 2 for how I entered again 0 and 15 on my Jungle Zillion. Cheers, guys, and have a good night.